That's your name, right?
Something like that, yeah.
It's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn
Thank
more.
you, Honda.
We love you.
If you got questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, anything you got, let us know in the comments, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll go up until about 12:30. That's 10 minutes now, according to my watch. We got about 10 minutes worth of questions. Mallory, does anybody have any questions? Oh, I should also say, speaking of goods and services, because I was seeing your shirt.
Yes.
Our friends at Home Field Apparel.
Oh my gosh.
Use the promo code DCTF. Is that right? DCTF?
Yes. And I want to pull up the
Reed
mean green. No, the mean
yeah.
green one too. I'll find that in a second. But yeah, you can. If you listen to the Green Room podcast, they have their own promo code as well because they are part of the ROF network.
Yeah, but I don't want that. I want them to have. I want them to use our promo code, which is DCTF. So go to Home Field Apparel, use the promo code DCTF. You'll get 20% off your first order, and I believe you'll get 15% off a returning order. Or 15% off first time. Go to homefieldapparel.com. Your first order, 15% off. Use the promo code DCTF, and get some good stuff because the North Texas stuff just dropped, and you were showing it to me, and it is.
It's fire.
I might have to. Might have to not feed my kids and just get all some North Texas stuff anyway from Home Field Apparel. Homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code DCTF. Okay, enough goods and services. Let's get some questions.
Let's start off with what are some non-district games that will be great to see?
Yeah. So I have not quite dug into the schedules quite yet. I will tell you that. But I know that there are one of the things that I think is very positive about recent years is that we have I think teams are getting more and more excited about and willing to schedule tough non-district games. I think people have seen that it prepares you down the road and stuff like that. So there are a couple, and I'll start with week one. Okay, week one, there's a few that immediately are coming to mind. Did you know that DeSoto opens against Allen?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Holy
so there's
crap.
one that right out of the gates, right out of the chutes, you're like, okay, we're gonna get a good feel for both teams because I have more questions about Allen than I have about DeSoto, but I do have questions about both.
Yeah.
Right? And so that to me is going to be a week one a banger, as the kids would be as the kids might say.
I always appreciate. I don't know if they're playing this year, but I always appreciate the Denton Guy or Denton Ryan matchup early in non-district play.
Yeah. So Denton Ryan has the return trip with New Braunfels in week one. Remember, because New Braunfels. Okay. You remember we were out and actually. Ooh, is that right? Do Timpson and Beckville open up against one another?
I hope so.
We were there last year.
Yeah.
Right? We were in Beckville for that. Timpson and Beckville. That is it's Beckville at Timpson this year. So there's one.
Nice.
The other thing for me is, you mentioned if we were at Timpson and Beckville when New Braunfels beat Denton Ryan, and that was the first kind of red flag about Ryan going into 2023 or 2022 rather. So that's a game that I'm going to be watching very closely. Aledo plays Parish Episcopal to start the year. In week one. That's one that I'm going to be keeping very, very close eye on.
Step said Longview versus McKinney, season opener on Thursday night.
Longview McKinney is going to be a lot of fun. I would circle, so I believe this is part of the Tom Landry Classic, I think, but College Station is going to play Lovejoy in week one,
that's a banger.
Which is I'm quite excited about.
Yeah.
You can sign me up for that. I'm kind of scrolling through schedules real quick. Ones that just immediately jump. Okay, here's one a little bit off the beaten path. Actually, Gilmer and Chapel Hill open against one another. That'll be fun. And then down in Southeast Texas, two teams that I'm really interested in heading into 2023. Nederland hosts West Orange Stark. Second year for Coach Hiawatha Hickman. They're at West Orange Stark. I think he has pretty high hopes for this team. Nederland's a 5A team. They're punching up. That's a game that I'm going to be keeping very, very tight eyes on. Oh, and how about this? How about Brock and Pleasant Grove? at Royce City.
That rocks.
So there you go. Those are just some week 1 games. I have not, to be honest, that is just like off the top. I have not done my week 1 deep dive quite yet. That'll probably happen in a couple weeks. I've got some time. I got to get past 7-on-7 and then I can start thinking about week 1.
And coaching school.
But then once we get to there, then I'm going to start taking a real look at non-district and see if we can come up with some a real roadmap for you.
I like it.
There you go. What's next?
Which defending state champion could you see have a really early exit from the playoffs or even miss the playoffs this year?
Defending state champs. Okay. Let me think through these. Okay.
Early exit or miss the playoffs?
Yeah.
Completely.
So I don't know if anybody are going to miss the
playoffs.
That seems a little.
Early
hasty.
exit is probably the better question.
Hawley has a lot to replace.
Mm-hmm.
Hawley was very senior heavy last year, so I'm interested to see how well they can replace their guys because they bring back only 9 starters from last year's team.
Oh wow!
I think they're going to be fine. I think, but if you're making me pick one, it would be them. Benjamin is fascinating in 1A Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
They're fascinating. And you can read my 1A preview in the 2023 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Text Football. I talk at length about this. But Benjamin brings back exactly 2 starters on each side of the ball. 2 starters.
That's nuts.
That's not good. But one of them
is a superstar.
is Grayson Rigdon,
Yeah.
like the undisputed best player in 6-man football. And so, like, we talk so much about in 6-man football how having that guy can be enough.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This is almost like a test case for that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Of, like, how much does one guy matter? Because they have a lot of holes to fill elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Really interested in that. And also, I think 1A Division 2 is going to be up this year. I think Jayton, Whitharrell, Balmorhea, Oglesby, Lorraine, Cherokee, I think they're all going to be really good. And that's just a couple to name a few. So I'm very interested to see kind of this laboratory case of what if you take a relatively new team and then drop the best player in the league in it.
Right.
It's really interesting. So it's
Yeah, I like that.
I'd make a baseball reference, but I don't think people care about that. So it's like Mike Trout. Anyway, what's next, Mallory?
Let's go with what deep cut games do you think will be interesting in 2023? We can go college football or maybe high school football.
I think I'll give you one of each.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a college football one too.
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
I think maybe Baylor and Texas State week 1.
Okay.
I don't think that's on a lot of people's radar.
Uh-huh.
But I think that it could be
I agree with
it could be potential upset. Watch. I don't know. I'm super, super interested on this new look Texas State team. I think they're coming at a good time. They might I think Baylor might overlook them. I don't know. I don't want to make any speculation here, but I think it could have potential upset written all over it.
All right. So it's deep cut, right? That's what
Deep
we're
cut, yeah, like maybe not on many people's radar. Like if you first look at Baylor, Texas State, that's an easy
Right. Okay.
That's an easy overlooked game.
Okay. I'll give you a college one. Again, to reference Split Zone 2 for the second time on this podcast, they're fond of saying the Anxiety Bowl. November 4th, Houston's at Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There is, I don't know, I'm not making any bold predictions, okay? I'm not making any broad takes here. There is a non-zero chance the loser of that game fires their coach.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay? I don't think Baylor wants to fire Dave Aranda.
I was going to say, I don't, yeah. Aranda's not as much on the hot seat.
Houston could have fired Dana Holgerson. I don't know if they have the money to fire him. But depending on how the season goes, because for Baylor, let's say you mentioned the Texas State game. Let's just say they beat Texas State, but then they play Utah. Probably not going to win that, right? They're going to be underdogs in that one. Then they played whoever LIU is, the Sharks. Never heard of them. Then they play Texas.
No, Liberty's the Flames.
Who's LIU? LIU Sharks. LIU is. They just keep saying LIU. What's LIU stand for, guys?
If you know in the comments, let us know.
They just keep saying Long Island University.
Oh,
So they're playing
Sharks.
Long
Okay,
Island
I
University.
like it. Nice.
Okay. So they're playing that. So 2-1. Texas at UCF. You lose to UCF, and you're starting to have some thoughts about where we stack up in the Big 12 if you're Baylor.
Right.
Then you're playing Texas Tech. You want to talk about potentially different trajectories, right? Mm-hmm. Tech on the rise. Open date at Cincinnati. Another game where do we stack up in the new look Big 12?
Right. Cincinnati's got a new coach, too, so we don't know what they look like.
Then you're home for Iowa State, and then you play Houston at home. And if Baylor were to lose that game to Houston at home and drop to that would be the 9th game. If they were to drop to, I guess that would be say 4-5 or 3-6, right? Suddenly there's that. On the flip side for Houston, as they're going into the Big 12, if they were to stumble into that game, that might be curtains for Dana Holgorsen. I think November 4th, again, either of these teams could blow up and win the Big 12 because I think the Big 12 is relatively wide open. But I've scouted out, I'm like, there's a potential anxiety bowl on November 4th between Houston and Baylor. That's one game. As far as a high school game that I think is flying under people's radar, I don't know what date it is, but I'm very interested. Let me see if I can find a date real quick. District 14, 3A Division 2, which is about as deep cut as you can get.
Yeah.
District 14, 3A Division 2, okay? You are going to have Bowling and East Bernard playing one another, okay? Right now, sports gun to my head, I think Tidehaven's the best team in that district. But this is and they play, when is this? Oh, it is going to be October 20th. It is at East Bernard, Bowling at East Bernard. This is certainly a seeding game, second or third. Maybe it's for a district championship if Tidehaven doesn't play to their paper. That's a game that I think is going to fly under people's radar, maybe because it's not the number one team in the district, right? Maybe it's not Tidehaven, but you want to talk about two real quality teams that I think in a relatively wide open Region 4 could make a run, because last year the winner of Region 4 was Poth, right? Poth, I think, is going to be I'm interested to see how they replace Zane Robbie and some of the important pieces that they had last year. I think Tidehaven within their own district is going to be tough. Region 4 feels wide open, and so if you're talking about a game that flies under people's radar, I think East Bernard and Bowling has an opportunity to be one of those under the radar important games that is going to shape what Region 4 of 3A Division 2 looks like. Let's do 2 more.
2 more. Okay.
Oh, do you have 4 more? 3 more?
No, I don't. I just had.
Do you have 1 more? 2 more?
Let's do 1 more.
1 more.
One
Got
more.
it. We'll do an ender.
Yeah, this is a good ender. Very simple. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
I'm a Rocky Road guy.
Okay.
Rocky
Baskin
Road.
Robbins? Bluebell?
Bluebell. I'm a Bluebell Rocky Road guy. I think they've got excellent Rocky Road. To me, Ben and Jerry's is always just trying to chase new versions of Rocky Road. Like, everything they do is just a different version of Rocky Road. And so what I would like them, what I am interested in is straight up, normal, plain Bluebell Rocky Road.
Okay.
Chocolate ice cream, put the nuts in it.
I like it.
That does for me.
No Dr. Pepper ice cream.
So we did try it. Did you guys review this? Did you guys ever do the review?
Yes, we did. Pickle and I did last week.
All right.
I liked it.
Here's my opinion.
I thought it was good.
It's good. It's good. I'm probably never buying it again.
Yeah.
It's just I enjoyed having
I
a little bit of it. It did what's so interesting. The most interesting thing about it is that because your brain is wired in a certain way, it almost tastes carbonated.
It does.
Because
you're right.
Because
it does.
Because you've never because it does taste like Dr. Pepper. This is a compliment. It does taste so much like Dr. Pepper that your brain is like, oh, this must be carbonated, right? And it's not, of course, it's ice cream. But it tastes carbonated, like your brain.
Yeah, right.
It kind of short circuits your brain.
It's
good.
Yeah.
I would recommend trying it once. I
Yeah.
probably won't seek it out again. That's kind of where I'm at on it.
Yeah, I want to do like a Dr. Pepper float with it.
I would rather
That
just
would be
have
really
exactly.
good.
My thought is I'd rather just have a Dr. Pepper float.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
But in any case, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookie dough. It's always been. Well, it used to be mint chocolate chip, and then I tried cookie dough.
I don't like mint. I don't want.
You don't like
I
mint?
don't want mint.
Mint
ice
chocolate
cream.
chip's pretty good. That was my
It's
favorite
fine.
when I was younger,
Yeah.
but now it's cookie dough because I love.
Maybe
cookie
I've
dough.
asked you this question. Were you and your folks? Were you guys big road trip people when you were growing up? Like, would you drive to vacation?
More of my grandparents took us on more road trips than my
Okay.
parents did.
When you would stop to get gas,
Mm-hmm.
I presume the grandparents would say, like, you can go in the gas station, you can
Mhm.
pick one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a go-to?
I always got a Dr. Pepper,
Shout out.
and then I kind of. I guess
whatever-
just depending,
whatever
maybe
you're
sometimes
feeling.
candy, sometimes chips or something. But
Yeah.
but I guess my go-to Dr. Pepper
'Kay.
always.
Mine was Three Musketeers.
Oh, good one.
Three
Okay,
Musketeers because it was the biggest candy bar.
I
I'm
like
a
it.
value shopper.
I like that. I like
Exactly.
that. More bang for
Anyway.
your buck.
Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Remember, we are off for the next week or so.
Yeah.
We'll be back on June 19th because we are all trying to get a little bit of vacation in. It's going to do it for us. Thanks.